pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Vietnam Veterans News Podcast. News of interest about Vietnam veterans from a Vietnam veteran. Now, here's your host, Mac Payne.
This is Mac Payne here with episode 1807 of the Vietnam Veteran News Podcast. News about the Vietnam War and the brave veterans who served there, as told to you by yours truly, a Vietnam veteran. This episode is brought to you by Legacy Staffs, which are crafted by the Brazos Walking Sticks Company out in Waco, Texas. You can go to brazosticks.com and use my name, Mac Payne, one word, at the checkout and get a big 10% discount off your next order of the Legacy Staff or cane of your own design. I don't know how long the guys out at the Brazos Walking Stick Company is going to continue offering this 10% discount, so that makes it critical that you go to that website, brazosticks.com, immediately and order your Legacy Staff while you can still get that 10% discount. These Legacy Staffs are tremendous works of art. I have one myself. It's one of my favorite possessions. It has my name on there. It has Vietnam Veteran News on it. It's got a USA symbol on it. Do yourself a favor and go to brazosticks.com and order your custom Legacy Staff today. In this episode, I'm going to tell you about something wonderful the people of Warren County, Tennessee, did to honor one of their citizens who served in Vietnam and made the ultimate sacrifice. They named a bridge after him. It's right there on US 70S. The next time you're driving northwest out of McMinnville, Tennessee, on US 70S, headed toward Murfreesboro, Tennessee, slow down as you go across the Miller's Branch Bridge, which is only about a mile northwest of Centertown. Drive slow as you go over that bridge and think about Thomas D. Young. He gave his life in Vietnam for his country, and they have dedicated the bridge that goes over the Miller's Branch on US 70S in his honor. It's a wonderful thing they did there, and I appreciate it greatly. I'm going to share this story with you more than just to honor a fallen Vietnam veteran. I have a little connection to this story. It's about a young man by the name of Thomas D. Young. Born and raised in McMinnville, he always wanted to be in the 101st Airborne Division because Fort Campbell, Kentucky is not too far away. He became a helicopter crew chief in the Army. In Vietnam, he was assigned to A Troop, 2nd Squadron, 17th Cav of the 101st Airborne Division. That's significant to me because I was assigned to A Battery, 4th of the 77th Field Artillery in Phu Bai. A Troop, 2nd of the 17th Cav were right next to us there. We shared the same consolidated mess hall with A Troop, 2nd of the 17th Cav. I could have easily crossed paths with Thomas D. Young right there in that mess hall or walking down the street in front of our two units. Unfortunately, Thomas Young died on December the 15th, 1970 in Vietnam as he was participating in a recon mission in Quang Tri province of South Vietnam. I was there in Vietnam at that time when he passed away. All this provides an even stronger connection of this story with me and my service in Vietnam. I know about the 2nd and the 17th Cav. We served with them. I knew many of the people in that unit. It's a terrible thing that such a fine young man as Thomas D. Young had to die for his country in a war far away from home. Captain Adam O'Reilly is a writer for the 40th Public Affairs Detachment there at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. You wrote a story about this bridge dedication. I'm going to share it with you because it tells you more about it. Before I share that story with you, I want to thank Kenny Roberts, who works with the Warren County Highway Department, for telling me exactly where this bridge is located. Unfortunately, in the story, written by this young captain in the Public Affairs Detachment over at Fort Campbell, did not specifically say where it is. But now you know. Thanks to Kenny Roberts. It's right out there on US 70S. That road is a big 4-lane highway. It looks almost like an interstate. The bridge running over Miller Branch is a modern structure. Make sure you look for that big sign that says Sergeant Thomas D. Young Memorial Bridge the next time you're there. And as you go by, think about this young man who gave his life for his country. Right now, let's take a look at this story titled, Tennessee Bridge Dedicated to Fallen Screaming Eagle. This story appeared in numerous local papers, including the Main Street Clarksville. Let's take a look at what Captain Adam O'Reilly wrote about this dedication event. Dateline, Centertown, Tennessee, which is only about 4 or 5 miles northwest of McMinnville, Tennessee, on US 70S. Here is Captain O'Reilly's story. Veterans and soldiers of the 101st Airborne Division came together July the 14th, 2020, dedicating a Warren County bridge to one of its fallen heroes who fought in the Vietnam War more than 50 years ago. Sergeant Thomas D. Young grew up in the Debrell community of McMinnville, Tennessee, and served in the Vietnam War with A Troop, 2nd Squadron, 17th Cav Regiment, 101st Airborne Division, as a helicopter crew chief. On December the 15th, 1970, Young was killed in action during a recon mission in the Quang Tri province of South Vietnam. That was some rough country out there in the Quang Tri province. Continuing. For his actions, Young was posthumously awarded the Bronze Star, the Air Medal with 6 oak leaf clusters, the Purple Heart, and numerous awards presented by the Vietnamese government. Prior to serving in combat with the division, Young attended basic training at Fort Campbell, Kentucky in 1969. He would often send letters home that detail the sense of fulfillment he gained from conducting his duties as a Screaming Eagle, executing missions to support and save the lives of fellow soldiers. In total, Young executed 36 dangerous missions as a crew chief during his 105 days of combat service. If you'd like to get some idea of some of the action that Thomas Young participated in Vietnam, all you've got to do is look at the movie Apocalypse Now. In the beginning, they had a scene where the 1st to the 9th Cav of the 1st Cav Division executed an attack on a VC position. The 1st to the 9th Cav of the 1st Cav Division had a very similar mission to 2nd of the 17th Cav in the 101st Airborne Division. They were always doing crazy things because they had to go out and look for the enemy. People in that unit had to be very brave to do that job. That's what Thomas Young was doing in Vietnam. Continuing. Tommy wanted to be assigned to the 101st when he served in Vietnam, and he was proud as he could be to wear the 101st patch on his arm, said Michael Young, the brother of Sergeant Thomas Young. This event is the honor he deserved years ago. The bridge dedication is the culmination of 3 years of hard work. With the help of some veterans and the local community, a small idea quickly transformed into a full day of honors and a tribute to Young's selfless service. God's hand is in this. All the stars have aligned to make this a premier event for Tommy, Michael Young said. Vietnam veterans from A Troop Association played a major role in putting the event together. The group coordinated with the Army Aviation Heritage Foundation to provide a UH-1H Huey for the event, conducting an honor flight with Sergeant Young's family and a flyover for the dedication. The Alpha Troop Association is committed to keeping alive the memories of all the men and women who served with A Troop, 2nd of the 17th Cav Regiment, while staying connected to those who currently serve in the unit. Mike Mabe, former A Troop Association president, said, "It is about instilling and maintaining a sense of pride in the Screaming Eagle community, as your service in the unit will be a piece of you that you carry for the rest of your life." He continued, "I wouldn't take $1 million for the 3 years I served with the 101st in Vietnam, or the brotherhood and the memories." Current Army aviation soldiers from the 101st Airborne Division attended the event representing the division. "I am so proud of the heritage of not only the 2nd Squadron 17th Cav Regiment, but also the heritage of the 101st," said Sergeant Jesse Kliss, a crew chief with D Troop 2nd of the 17th Cav Regiment. "It is an honor to carry on the legacy of Sergeant Young as I serve in his former unit." For Young's family and countless veterans, the bond created by service in this storied division remains strong. Whether actively serving or retired, the legacy tied with being a member of the Screaming Eagles will live on in the service of future generations. Being a former member of the 101st Airborne Division over there in Vietnam, I have to agree with every word of that statement. It'll stay with you forever. I know many times when I was in the 101st, you'd hear people complaining about it. They didn't like this or they didn't like that. Later, down through the years, when I run into former members of that division, they all say good things about it and appreciate their time in it. This is a wonderful thing they are doing to honor the memory of Thomas D. Young, who served in A Troop, 2nd of the 17th Cav, 101st Airborne Division over there in Vietnam. I would encourage everyone in the area to go over that bridge and remember Thomas D. Young. If you're not from that area, I would encourage you to take a side trip. Go over to McMinnville, Tennessee. Head out northwest on U.S. Highway 70S. Drive past Centertown and look for the Miller's Branch Bridge. And there you will see that sign, dedicating the bridge to Thomas D. Young. I live way down here in Central Florida, about 100 miles due south of Orlando. I'm strongly motivated to go up there and just drive over that bridge and remember Thomas D. Young. I also want to thank my good buddy, Rick Scruggs, who today lives out on his farm in Linneus, Missouri, for reminding me of which troop was there at Fubai next door to us in A Battery 4th of the 77th Field Artillery. Thank goodness he's got a much better memory than I do. And he told me that A Troop was the one right next to us. I would not be surprised at all that I passed Thomas D. Young one day as we walked along the road there at Fubai, maybe headed over to the mess hall, maybe headed out to the flight line. I really wish I could remember this young man. I encourage you to go over to the podcast website, VietnamVeteranNews.com. Go to episode 1807. There you will see not only a picture of Thomas Young's brother, Michael Young, at the dedication, there will also be a picture of Thomas D. Young while he was in Vietnam, proudly wearing that Nomex uniform with that 101st Division patch on his left shoulder. If you were unable to go to Tennessee and go over the Miller's Branch Bridge to pay homage to Thomas D. Young, the least you can do is go to the podcast website, VietnamVeteranNews.com, go to episode 1807, and when you see the picture of Thomas D. Young, it'll break your heart. He's a fine-looking young man, and it looked like he was very proud of the service he was doing for his country. Thomas D. Young of McMinnville, Tennessee, I hereby issue you an official Vietnam Veteran News podcast salute for your service and sacrifice to your country in Vietnam with the 101st Airborne Division. Rest in peace. This is Mac Payne closing out episode 1807 of the Vietnam Veteran News Podcast. Thank you so much for coming to listen to these stories. You are cordially invited to return again soon and often to listen to more that will be coming your way on this podcast, the Vietnam Veteran News.
If you like what you hear, then go tell somebody. How about that? Ain't that a mess?